For me, it's just sadness and teary-eyed. So I have a feeling I know the remedies I'm going to be going toward today. Did you have fun scaring me, honey?
Yes, I did.
It's like a piece of your heart is being pulled out, and then another piece because you have multiple children. Hi everyone. Today we are going to be talking about things you can do, namely natural remedies for that empty nest syndrome. First, I need to make myself a cup of tea. I need to make myself some protein. I'm going to just whip up a couple eggs. It's all about the protein and the strength training at RH, okay? So I'm going to put timestamps below this video so that you can go straight to the recommended products for how you specifically are feeling, because there's going to be a long list of feelings associated with the empty nest and just child grief in general. So let's say you're divorced and you have custody part-time, and that's where that loneliness or grief is coming from. Let's say you've lost a child. So any of these grief associated with our children feelings will be in a list, and then you can find the associated remedies, flower essences, essential oils to go with it. So if you want, you can look at the timestamps, jump to where you want to go. But I'm going to just be vlogging this experience. Now, I've already written up part of the blog post, and I've listed all of the feelings, and I even put it out to like 12,000 people on Facebook, my group, and also my private Facebook, asking all of my empty nesters to let me know if I've left anything out. And I've already gotten a few responses, and I've added those things in. So this is going to be as comprehensive as it can be. I haven't taken anything myself. So it's August of 2022 right now. We just got back from a long vacation with my kids. One of my sons went back to school, and the other one went back to his dad's house. So it's kind of hitting me right now more than it ever has. I'm gonna try not to cry. And I realized a couple days ago, I need to take a remedy. And then I thought, well, maybe I should figure out, like I had to think about, how am I actually feeling? Because you really can dissect that. Not every empty nester feels the same. Some people just feel loneliness. I don't necessarily feel loneliness. I'm an introvert. I actually like being alone. But it's just this feeling of my kids being ripped out of my lives. And they're not being ripped out of my lives. I mean, but that's the way it feels, you know? And it hurts. It's like a piece of your heart is being pulled out, and then another piece because you have multiple children. And so I know I need to take something. I've been like this for days, a week probably, like half in tears. And I mean, not half in tears, tears several times throughout the day. You hear a sad song, oh my gosh. So I'm going to be vlogging this experience of me writing up the blog post, taking some remedies myself. I'm just gonna take whatever I have on hand. I'm not gonna order anything because I think whatever I have on hand will probably suffice. I'll let you know how that's going for me. And then I can direct you to the blog post so you can even print it out if you want to, because you might have, I have about 20 different feelings that you could have as an empty nester listed, maybe more. And you might read all these and be like, oh my gosh, I have at least 5 of these, if not 10 or 15. And what I want you to do is pick the most predominant feeling. For me, it's just sadness and teary-eyed. So I have a feeling I know the remedies I'm going to be going toward today. Pick the feeling that is the most predominant and start there. Take those remedies first. And then wait like a week or 2. And then you can go back to the list and read it again and ask yourself, have my feelings changed? Has this part been removed? I'm not as teary-eyed, but now I'm feeling, regret that I didn't do more of XYZ with my kids when they were little. Maybe regret that you worked too much, or regret that you gave too much of yourself away, the opposite, every situation's different and every person's going to feel different. So you can keep going back to the list and changing the remedies and essences and things until you feel like you're sort of back to homeostasis. Homeopathy, homeostasis. There's a reason they both start with homeo. Okay, I'm gonna get to my blog post. So I have to, for each of these feelings, I have to research the remedies that go with those particular feelings. I'm gonna start with the ones I'm feeling because I'm not gonna be very good at helping other people if I'm sitting here crying, okay? So I'm gonna research the feelings that I have. I'm gonna go take some things because I've got a whole pharmacy here. I'll vlog about it and then I'll put this article out there when it's all ready. Okay, so I've been sitting here working about 30 minutes. So far what I've taken is Pacific Essences Death Camas. I don't have a lot of flower essences on hand, and the ones I do are blends. You know, they're like several flower essences together. And this is the one that I felt fit the most. It's fear of change or just adapting to change. It may or may not help me. I don't necessarily have the fear of change because there's a part of me that is like, okay, so the next chapter is going to be sort of exciting in addition to sad. So it's not a fear of change, but it might help me to adapt to change. I don't know, we'll see. The next thing I'm going to take here is doTERRA brand Console. That's a blend. I'm going to recommend the plant therapy blend that is similar to this, and that is called Blues Buster, I think. Yeah, Blues Buster. But this is the one I have on hand. I personally, from now on, I'm probably going to be ordering from Plant Therapy because they have a store on Amazon, and I really just like to order from Amazon whenever I can. It's just simple because I have Prime. And since it's coming directly from their store, I know that they are legit. I've been told that if you order doTERRA online, on Amazon, it could be that someone took part of this stuff out and diluted it, and you know, I don't want to mess with that. So Plant Therapy, I already have experience with those oils, so I'm going to stick with those. But so yeah, Blues Buster. But anyway, this is not what I'm recommending to you guys. I'm telling you what I'm taking. I want you to read the blog article before you take anything, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. This is diluted with sesame oil. I'm just going to put a little bit on my wrist. It looks like I'm putting a lot on, but it comes out kind of slow in this roller bottle. And just different points here. Maybe I'll put some on my neck. It smells pretty good too. But I can tell you that I already knew which remedy. I went ahead and put my symptoms into the homeopathic repertory. I already knew which homeopathic remedy I was going to need because it's so obvious. And it's pulsatilla. So I'm going to wait a few minutes. I don't like to take oils and remedies together because the strong smell of this can kind of affect the remedy. So I'll probably wait 30 minutes. I would normally wait longer. I recommend waiting longer, but I'm so teary-eyed. Like I'm just sitting here like so weepy. And this is a remedy that is, it even says on here, weeping, weeping. I'm not weeping, but I could easily just weep at any moment. It's like how I feel. I'm going to take the 1M potency because I have a lot of experience using homeopathic remedies. I already know that I'll be fine with the 1M. It's not going to create some big, huge detox reaction. It's going to go in there. It's going to work fast. So this is what's good for me. If you don't have a lot of experience with homeopathic remedies, I'm going to suggest that everybody start with a 200C potency. And the only reason 200C is actually a little bit high too. The reason I'm picking 200C is because grief is a strong emotion, or any of the emotions of your children. Here we go. Any of the emotions of your children leaving the home or passing away or whatever child-related grief you have right now, it's strong. So 200C is necessary in my opinion. Now some of you, if it's just a minor emotion that you're experiencing, start with a 30C. But if you feel like this sucks, like that's how I'm feeling, this sucks, start with a 200C. Or if you are pretty experienced with homeopathy, you've taken a lot of remedies before, you know how you react to them, jump right to the 1M. All right, like that's what I need. I have a feeling it's gonna make me cry because sometimes remedies will help you get it all out and then you feel better. And when I was walking in the park the other day, hiking, I got it all out and I felt better for a couple days, but it's back. And I'll keep doing the hiking and I'll keep taking this until I feel better. Now, I might go down in potency after a little while, after it's not so prevalent and pervasive. Like once I'm only, I don't know, crying once a day. But if I can't even talk without crying, which is where I'm at right now, I'm gonna stick with the 1M. Now, how often am I gonna take this? I don't know, I'm gonna take 1 dose today, and then I'll probably wait a couple days and I'll reevaluate in a couple days if I need another dose. And that's how I recommend that you do it. And when you need another dose, try to decide which potency. Like if you're like, okay, the feelings are back, but they're not super strong, they're just kind of annoying, they're there, then go down in potency from what you started with. Or if they're just as strong, take another of this. But it's important that you see after your first dose that it worked. If it worked and then the symptoms came back, then it's appropriate to use the same remedy again. If the symptoms or the feelings come back in a different way, let's say instead of feeling teary-eyed, you feel angry at your kids. Maybe you're in another stage of grief. Go back to the article, look at the anger category, all right? Switch your remedy. Don't keep taking the same one. It'll just make you feel worse. So you have to sort of reevaluate, okay, how do I feel now after a few days? Is it the same? Am I still just weepy or whatever your symptom was? Or has it changed? And now I need to take something different. All right, so that's where I'm at so far. I'll let you know later if I take anything else, and we'll see how long this article takes me. It's probably gonna take me a few days. I have to add in here, if you're one of my kids and you're watching this, or my kid's girlfriend, or anybody related to my kids, don't feel guilty. This is not a guilt trip. This is me helping myself and helping other people. I love you guys. I want to see you shine and spread your wings, okay? Don't feel guilty. All right, so my Remedies down the hatch, the Pulsatilla 1M. And I didn't even wait the 30 minutes after this because I hate it. I just need to get on top of how I'm feeling. And I don't know why I'm trying to like fight through this feeling and work. Like I'm just gonna get up and like do laundry and things because I can't focus right now. So I'll be back later. Alright guys, update, very good news. I feel so much better. I did not have a big cry. It just made me feel better. Like I got up and did some things around the house as you saw, and I noticed myself feeling really good, not like there was this cry that needed to come. And then I sat down and I worked on the blog post a little bit, which I can tell already is gonna take me forever, but that's okay, I'm committed. And then my son came by, and here's some footage. Look at what he did to me. Like, are you kidding me? In the palette?
Yeah.
You're not gonna hold it?
It lights up. Doesn't that look pretty cool?
Yeah, that's cool. Oh my god, Eli!
Isn't that cool?
Terrifying.
I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, so anyway, he came by and scared the heck out of me. He's working on his business today. He's clearing space in my garage to make room for some machines that he has coming for his business. But anyway, I'm about to take my second dose today of Pulsatilla. I'm just going a little hard on this today because like I said, I have experience with homeopathy, so I can. But if you don't have experience with it, I would just take it. I would take 1 dose and wait a couple days and see how you feel, like I said earlier. Okay, so that's my second dose. And that's probably all I'm gonna take today. Now, my son, I took his case today. This is just a little aside. Every once in a while I give my kids a new remedy, a constitutional remedy, which is a remedy to help any and all symptoms somebody may be experiencing at any particular time. Love you too, honey. You wanna come say hi? Did you have fun scaring me, honey?
Yes, I did.
he came in to say goodbye. I actually gave him 2 today. I don't do that very often, but I was really torn between 2 of them and I felt like he needed both. So they were stramonium and lachesis. He's having a little bit of irritability and frustration with his business. And then he also has had a little asthma. So those remedies should help with that. Gave him 2 doses, sent him on it. I'll be back when I have more of this blog post done and I'll be able to give you some more information. All right, guys, I'm just laying on the couch. Quick update. It's a few days later. I was feeling a lot better for a few days after taking that homeopathic remedy, pulsatilla. I wasn't teary-eyed anymore, but it has just come back like this afternoon. It's now 10 o'clock at night, 10 or like 11 o'clock at night. And I've had a lump in my throat for a few hours. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. Maybe I'll take Ignatia, I'm not sure yet, but I'll update after my next dose. So I went a few days feeling good. I think it's been 3 days now, and I'm due for a dose of something. I'll let you know how that goes. All right, an update from last night. So last night I was saying I had a lump in my throat, kind of that like sadness, like, you know, where it kind of gets stuck in your throat. I took Ignatia, which is just the perfect remedy for grief with a lump in the throat. It's just so typical. I was a walking poster child for Ignatia, and I took it and the lump went away immediately. Sometimes if you take a remedy, as I said, it can make you cry if a cry is necessary. And I thought maybe that was going to happen. It didn't happen. And that's because you've been suppressing it. It gets stuck in your throat. It needs to come out, but I haven't cried. Will I? Maybe? I don't know. I do feel lighter. And, you know, again, I'm human. We are human. The situation isn't going away. It's not like we can it's not like you have a broken heart, you know, a man broke up with you or whatever, a woman broke up with you, and you'll feel better when you find someone else. Like, that's not happening. Except maybe when the kids have grandkids. I don't know. Maybe a grandma can comment and let me know. So I think it's not like the situation is going to go away. So I think that I'm probably going to have to keep taking things for a while. And also my situation is evolving. Like my kids are not out of town. One is living with his dad 10 minutes away. The other is only at his dad's half the time. And I see my kids, you know, the one who lives basically with his dad, I see him a few times a week. So, and even my son who is not here 50% of the time, I pick him up after school every single day, even on the days that he's with his dad. So I pretty much see him a lot, you know, and that time in the car is like everything, you know. So am I completely out of the woods? I doubt it. I think other layers are coming up. Possibly I'm gonna have to look at the category of fear of your future and aging, because like with my kids moving on, it's like this very distinct feeling of like, oh, I'm going into the next chapter. And like, what's next? Death? Like getting old, my kids taking care of me. Like my mind is kind of going there. So I have a feeling I'm going to be looking at the next category in the next couple days that I need, which will probably be the fear of aging or whatever. And so I have a feeling this is going to be evolving. Maybe I'll keep this vlog going for a few more days. And so anyway, you're getting to see in real time how this process goes with treating like an emotional condition with homeopathy. You uncover one layer and then another layer comes up. So first I had the teary-eyed thing. I just would get teary-eyed all the time. And I took pulsatilla. It's a typical remedy for that. And then I had the lump in the throat sensation, and it was like a heavy feeling of grief. And I took that. I might need to take that a couple more times before I go on to the next layer, which might be this like new chapter, getting old, kids taking care of me. Am I gonna end up in a nursing home? I was thinking about that the other day and I'm like, why am I thinking of that at 48 years old? Like, so that's something I have to process, and maybe I'll take a remedy for that. So you can see that grief can come in different layers, and you can work through those layers with each one with a new remedy. Okay, so I think it's important for anyone who's considering taking these remedies and doing this with natural remedies to see the process I'm going through right now. And I'm actually kind of surprised. I honestly thought that I would take a couple remedies and be done. But no, I can tell that there's a lot for me to process right now. So, and the remedies make it faster. You know, it helps you go through the layers faster. And I know that from experience. Like when I got divorced 10 years ago, I went through the grief process so fast. It was still deep and it hurt, but I went through it lightning fast. Okay, that I got cut off because that was my alarm to tell me that I have to teach a class now. So I'm going to jump off here and I will be back if I have another update. All right, everyone. So my article is done, my blog post, Growing into the Empty Nest Using Natural Remedies. And this is the part that you've probably all been waiting for. We're going to move down to the remedies that you should take for your particular situation. Now, this may not be super visible, and that's why I'm going to have a link in the blog or in the description below. So you can scroll right down to which feeling is the most predominant. And you can see here there are about 20 different feelings, and underneath each one, so for example, well, this is the one that this is the situation I was dealing with, grief teary-eyed. That was my feeling. And these are the homeopathic remedies, the flower essences, and the essential oils that are recommended. So the homeopathic remedy I took was pulsatilla. You can see that is right here. It is linked on Amazon. Some of these are not Amazon links because I didn't really trust that you should buy them there or whatever, so I might have linked them out elsewhere. So what I would do here, you know, first, you might have like 5 of these and you're like, oh, I can't decide. Pick one that makes the most sense for you. That seems to be like sort of the top level emotion for you right now. For me, it was teary-eyed. I couldn't talk without crying. It was pretty obvious for me. So what I want you to do is pick one homeopathic remedy, one flower essence to start with, and then one essential oil. So, you know, eventually you can buy all of these essential oils or all of these flower essences, but I would definitely only pick one homeopathic remedy. These are very powerful. It's just best to start with one. So that's basically it. And then once you take these, and by the way, you can also just take the homeopathic remedy and see how that does. You might not need these other things. But if you want, you know, really quick relief, maybe dive in, take one of each, and then wait like I did. And then you will go back after a few days and reevaluate. You might feel the same way. So if I was in a situation where I couldn't talk about how I felt without crying, I'd probably want to take pulsatilla again. But my situation changed and I ended up needing Ignatia because my feeling was forsaken. Because, you know, what I was feeling was not just my own kids, but other people who have forsaken me or sort of rejected me in the past. And it was all kind of coming together. So I think this is kind of where I landed after the pulsatilla wore off. So I was sort of at my next layer that I needed to peel back. So I could have chosen between phosphoricum or Ignatia. So notice some of these will have 2 suggested homeopathic remedies. Just pick one. And there are some phrases here to help you pick it out. I chose Ignatia because I had this typical lump in my throat. It was just so typical Ignatia. But if I was feeling this way, the phosphoricum acid, it says, especially if combined with physical and or mental debility, almost like in emotional shock, meaning like you can't think, you can't move, you're just kind of really like down, you're kind of just knocked down, then it could have been phosphoricum acidum. I probably could have gone either way and gotten some relief, but Ignatia really did help me. The lump in the throat was gone within minutes, I think, and I just have felt lighter and lighter ever since. I had sort of a heavy feeling that lifted. I'm probably not going to take holly. I might later use some lavender or cinnamon, which are listed as my essential oils right now. But you know, I'm feeling pretty good with that Ignatia. Now, if I had to guess, my next layer might be something like fear of future, because I'm having some thoughts come up there. And where is that? Fear of your own future or aging process. So I have a feeling my next homeopathic remedy is going to be burrito carb.
And so I know that you can't see this probably if you're watching this on the phone. And so you're going to have to go to the blog post to see specifically what you need, but I will read out the feelings. So worry for your child's well-being or safety, that's one of the feelings. Deep grief to the point of being in shock, unloved, unappreciated, helplessness or loss of control, meaning like you feel like you don't have any control over your kids' lives anymore, or where they spend their time or where they live, and you feel helpless, that kind of thing. The next one is feeling empty, like you have been detached from someone you love. Suppressed emotions. Maybe you feel like you need a good cry, but it's not coming out. Forsaken or forgotten. Lack of purpose, loneliness or desire for company, boredom or wanting to travel, looking for stimulation, whatever. General sadness and grief. So if you absolutely cannot decide between any of these, I would stick with the general sadness and grief. Next one is grief teary-eyed. Next one is grief that has caused depression, grief that has caused anxiety or overwhelm, fear of change, jealousy. Maybe you feel jealous of your children. You know, that's possible. Regret, shame, or guilt. Oh, and also jealousy. It could also be that you feel jealous of the people who get to spend time with your children, their friends or something, you know. Next one is fear for your own future or aging process. Next one is isolated, anger or resentment toward your children, uprooted trauma. Maybe this is old trauma that has come to the surface. You feel stuck or paralyzed. You feel abandoned. And then at the very end here, I have any category of grief and stress. So these are just some random remedies and flower essences and blends, essential oil blends that I found that I think anybody could benefit from. So those are some additional things you could add to what you're doing. Or if it's too overwhelming for you to try to pick out a feeling and go that route, maybe you could just start with this any category at the bottom and just pick something here and just start there. That would probably be easy. So that is it. Just wanted to show you the blog post. Make sure you read it thoroughly so you know exactly how to, dose these things. All right, so there you have it. Please let me know in the comments if you try any of these remedies, if it works for you. Regarding myself, I haven't taken anything else after the pulsatilla and then a few days later the ignatia. I'm doing good. I may have to turn back to some things. We'll see. I'm not too worried about it right now, but I'm feeling pretty homeostasis-like, as I mentioned before. Don't forget to like if this video helped you and consider subscribing for more information about natural remedies. Just wanted to add one more thing. The homeopathic remedies that I recommended for grief, for emptiness, I got by putting the symptoms that I mentioned into the homeopathic repertory and also just my background knowledge from having gone to homeopathy school. But the essential oils, I got a lot of those recommendations from this book, Emotions and Essential Oils. This is where I got a lot of the flower essence recommendations, flower essence repertory. This is a huge book. You can look up symptoms or feelings and it will guide you to a list of flower essences that you can, read through and choose which one seems like would best suit you at the time. You can also look up an entire description of each of the flower essences. Now, a lot of people take the Bach remedies, and I absolutely love those, and they're so easy to find locally and stuff. But Bach doesn't have all of the flower essences. This company, Flower Essence Society, who made this book, they have a website, and they have a lot more flower essences. So there's a lot more in this book that you would not find through Bach flower essences. So just wanted to let you know in case you wanted to, buy this book, you can pick out your own flower essences at any time. All right, thanks.